Phones go on here.
This is a story of one man and one block in the city of New York. The man is Dan Murrow, a social worker. The block, 111th Street in East Harlem. For the last 5 years, Dan Murrow has worked and lived here. This block has become his world.
Now. Come on, further.
111th Street, one block crowded with 3,000 people, mostly Puerto Rican. The fighting gangs that roamed the street 5 years ago are gone, but 111th Street is still a battleground. The fight now is against more quiet horrors: the great white horse, dope, alcoholism, joblessness, lack of education, and a general poverty of opportunity. Every day the fight must be fought. Dan Murrow is a social worker with the American Friends Service Committee. He and his wife came here 5 years ago. Their children were born here. This street has been their life. The problems of this street, their concern. The people of the street, their family.
Come on, man. I got some news for you.
Our cameras have followed Dan Murrow for 1 month, his last on this street. Dan Murrow is leaving to go to graduate school in Boston. What he has done and what he leaves behind is our story.
I told him about you, and he wants to see. He wants to hire you. I tell you, all he wants is, he said, I just want a nice guy, you know? Just a nice guy.
You know me, Dan.
Yeah.
You think I'll make it?
Oh, I believe you. Oh, Bimbo, I know you can make it. I know you can make it. When I see somebody with a problem, and they give their all to solving it, and they make it, like, it gives me more hope that problems that I have and other people have can be solved, especially when we have odds against us. And it multiplies your hope. It makes you feel that, man, not only can one guy make it, but one whole neighborhood, one whole country, so to speak. You know, like, more people can make it if one guy proves he can make it. Because we got...
In a typical day, Dan Murrow may be found almost anywhere on 111th Street, involved with his neighbors. Mr. Hernandez is worried about dope addicts.
I know they are. I know they are. They're not bad people. They're really sick people.
Sick people, and when they need that stuff, they do anything to get the money. They don't have to kill anybody. They'll do it just to get the money for them. If they have an institution, when they get destroyed, send them out in the institution, and when they come out, send them in a place for rehabilitation where they can get learn how, because they come out, who's going to give them a job?
Even those addicts who have kicked the drug habit stand little chance of staying clean. 90% of them become users again.
That's it. This is Monday.
Johnny, if you go to the hospital, you know, the main thing is the psychiatry. You know, this medicine they give you is bull, you know? You know, that's light stuff they give you. Claudia, baby, hi, honey. Hi, baby. You know, all that stuff they give you in the hospital, that methadone stuff, that's okay. It makes you comfortable. It keeps you calm, but it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it at all. Now, when you go there, you're going to have to fill out an application. So, you know?
I can't write.
Oh, well, you let the pen write, you know? You just hold it. When you go there, Willie, just ask for personnel. You know, tell them you want to fill out an application, and tell them this guy, Jerry Silverstein, said he wants you to start work today, you know, at 5 o'clock.
Why don't you write?
I'll write his name down.
Why don't you write a note so I can give it to the man?
Okay, I'll give you a note, right. I'll give you a letter.
Well, you know I'm not a good talker, you know. Quiet boy.
You only need one guy?
Well, just today, right. How old is he?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Can I have the bottles, Joe?
What about the bottle?
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Give it to him. Let him give it. Yeah. Joe, can I...
Go ahead, eat woman.
Joe, could I hold the bottle, Joe? I don't want to see any trouble, Joe. But we got something important to do Monday.
Yeah? Right?
Thanks, Joe.
Look at that.
Thanks, Joe.
That's all.
Tiburia, what happened, Tiburia?
Quiet back.
What happened?
My drink.
Oh,
Down.
Oh, Tiburia.
When he drinks, it's no good.
He drinks, but he's a good man.
Oh, it's no good. It's
I
a
know,
pain.
the drink is bad.
It's a pain in the neck.
I was going to say one of the hardest things I've ever had to say to my brother. And it was, look, if you want to keep on, okay, fine, because I'm one who can't tell you what to do. But don't take your mother along with you, because you know damn well what you're doing to your mother. You know damn well what you're doing to your brothers, you know? If you want to go at it, you go at it away from her, where you can't involve her. You see, it'll always affect her, but she won't be involved. What did he say? I didn't get guts enough to tell him. I want to tell him this.
Well, I think if you really feel, you know, that inside of you it's right to say it, man, you better say it. Because he really has, you know, when a guy's on that stuff, like feeling is canceled out, you become numb. And even though you're living in the same house, you're living in the same family, you don't even feel your family anymore. He needs a good shot, man. He's got to be told what the hell people in his family feels. And you got to tell him, man, you're his brother, you love him. You got to tell him. Hi, baby.
Dan Murrow and his wife live and work in a 3-room walk-up apartment on the top floor of a converted brownstone. The American Friends Service Committee's projects house.
Daddy.
The children's room serves also as his office.
They're supposed to call me back within, an hour or two. And, I think that it might be able to work out with them. This is a farm also in Massachusetts. It's near where Idan went for a week. And they're very nice people. You know, there's just one thing that might be a problem for Ronaldo. This family doesn't eat meat.
Most social workers leave their assigned neighborhood at the end of the day. Dan Murrow and his family live on 111th Street, so his work goes on into the night. With all the problems, now and then there are small victories. For example, when an addict starts to conquer his drug habit.
You won, like. You're out. It's a good feeling, boy. It's a good feeling.
I gave a poem, man.
You wrote a poem?
Yeah.
Hey, Frenchie.
Because, I call it I'm Not Afraid of Tomorrow. I have seen yesterday.
Yeah, how does that go?
It says, I'm not afraid of tomorrow. I have seen yesterday. I have seen the beauty of the universe. I have seen the sadness of the graveyard. I have seen the schools and I have seen the cells. I have seen the jails and I have seen the cells. I have seen the judges and I have seen the courts. I have seen the good and I have seen the bad. I have seen the happiness, but I've never been happy. I have seen the boys and I have seen the girls. I have seen the women and I have seen the men. I have seen everything that there is to see. I'm not afraid of tomorrow. I have seen yesterday.
Frenchie, if the boss upstairs, who has so much work to do around the world, like making it a better place to live in, if he wasn't too busy and was listening to you talking, I think he'd be tipping his hat now.
For the teenagers, 111th Street is playground and living room, a place to let off steam, a place to meet. These boys call themselves the Miracles, a social club. Their leader is John Torres, a graduate of gang wars. 5 years ago, when John returned to 111th Street, there were many fighting gangs in the area. Today, there are none. But the frustrations which created the need for violence still exist. Under the leadership of John and Dan Murrow, the violence, once real, is now acted out in games.
I don't expect you to stay there and get beat up so bad that you can't run out of the yard. If everything goes wrong, we fight the best way we can. And let me tell you the truth, nothing always goes right, you know. But we do it the best way we can, you know. But I expect you to stay there for a little while, at least to see what you can do. And then get out of the yard, if you have to. But retreat in the first battle, remember that. Only when I say retreat. We'll fight a while, but I'll call a retreat. You understand? One more thing. If there's anybody badly hurt, and don't feel like playing, say it.
Five years ago, the weapons would have been lead pipes and clubs. Now rolled newspapers are used. Johnny Torres and the Miracles are preparing for what they call the bopping game. The battleground will be an alley. The opponents, another group from the neighborhood. Dan Morrow is opposed to violence, but he has come to understand the reason for games like this.
No.
Violence is primarily a way of saying how you feel. People who are gifted verbally resort less and less to violence. Some of our kids aren't that verbal. What they really want to do is not crack a skull, but to somehow crack a door open, to get someone to understand them. When a teenager feels low and sort of like nothing, and someone comes along and says he's nothing, then he really wants to crack a skull. But what does he really want to do? He wants to crack that blind spot that keeps a person from seeing he has worth as a human being. The President of the United States hereby summons you. First name, Salvatore? Right.
In the 5 years Dan has been here, he has come to know each of the Miracles personally.
Hey,
He has worked through many of their problems. He has seen many of them change.
Okay, John, right.
Perhaps the most spectacular change is in the life of John Torres. As a teenager, he had been involved in a gang fight in which a boy was killed. Today, he devotes all of his time without pay to work with the kids of the neighborhood. Hiram suspects that his brother, who is an addict, has stolen his camera to get money for dope. With his special talent for photography, nothing Hiram owns is more important to him. Dan and Hiram decide to talk about it.
Did you ever talk to him about it? That it's missing?
There's no way in hell, Dan, that camera, anybody else could have took it, Dan. No way in hell. But I know I keep it in the top drawer
Of your desk?
of my desk, and it's there all the time.
Dan talks with Hiram's mother.
I tell you the truth, Dan. I feel very bad about it. And I don't know, I tell you the truth, I don't know, because it seems to me, you know, there won't be nothing, you know, to help him, you know. I don't know. I really don't understand, you know, how it is.
You know, most people don't understand that problem. We're going to see what we can do.
Yes.
After his talk with Hiram's mother, Dan talked frequently with the addict brother. There was no magical cure, but a small miracle occurred. The addict admitted theft of the camera and gave the pawn ticket to another brother, Eric.
Oh, my.
Eric attempted to recover the camera, but the pawn shop refused to release it because they said it was stolen.
Try to get it out, and they reported it stolen. Now, I wanted to know if you did this, if Hiram
No,
did this.
no, I didn't do it.
So, come on with me, and I'll get it out.
Let's go, man, let's go. Does Hiram know? All right, okay.
Get that.
The problem on the street isn't solved by merely getting a boy's camera back, or helping another boy find a job. Yet perhaps each small victory gives these kids the hope that they might win the larger battles. These kids have so much talent, so much promise. They do so much with so little. If they had the chance to prove it, this street, this city would be a much better place to live in.
Well, you fellas know that Dan is...
The Miracles are meeting to plan a send-off for Dan.
You know, I always believe nobody is perfect. This man has tried to be perfect. I have seen this man get up sometimes if it's necessary at 2 o'clock in the morning and go to other people's houses because somebody was sick. I have seen this man, many kids have come to this place before running to a hospital because they hurt their hands. I have seen this man with 1,000 things in his mind and try to do everything at once, a little from everybody. Then we look at ourselves and we say, well, when this man leaves, what will become of us, of the whole neighborhood?
Dan Morrow's work on 111th Street is about to come to an end. In a few days, he will be leaving. Because John Torres does not write well, he dictates a farewell letter to Dan.
But dear Dan, no, wait a minute. Like you always say, dear familia. I never thought that the time would come when I had to write this letter to you. I would like to start by saying thanks for everything you did for me. For Harlem. And especially for my boys. And never forget us. Even though I know you won't. Because I know we won't forget you. Like I said, take good care of yourself. I'll be taking care of myself, too.
You're the blade, man.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi, how are you? Hello.
This is Joey. Joey, Eileen.
Won't you sit down, please?
So go sit down there. Go ahead. When I called you the other day and told you about Joey, it was in the hope that you might have a possible opening. As you mentioned, mail clerk.
We need mail and small things carried between the two locations. And this would be the prime purpose of the messenger we'd like to hire. Your hours would be about 9:30 and ending about 5 o'clock. The only other thing I could tell you would be the salary. It starts at $50 a week. I'm trying to explain to Miss Morrow that there are 2 other boys that I have interviewed for the job also, because before I was notified that you were available, so that I have to take all this into consideration. But you come very highly recommended, I assure you.
And if we don't get it, Chico, then we just have to do some more looking.
Looking where? Where? And to who to talk to?
Where would you look?
No, really. I won't get the job over here. I have to go back to the training school for that.
Would you go back to the training school?
That's if I don't get this job.
Or if you don't get this job, would you go back to the training school?
Yeah, I would.
You would? The other day you told me you don't want to go to the training school because it's only for handicaps.
I know. The thing is, you have to take anything that comes along.
I agree, Chico. I think it's a good idea because if they train you, you'll be able to earn some good money and you'll be doing work that you would probably enjoy, like making motors. All right, Dummy, we do that, okay?
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's get out of here.
Let's get out
Come
of
on.
here.
Come on, Chico. Come on home.
Getting a little sick.
The Miracles have been shopping for a gift for the Murrows. They wanted to purchase a plate engraved with their names and expressing thanks to Dan and Hope, but they didn't have the $20 it would cost. Their only chance now is to find a bargain in the neighborhood.
That'll be fine, Pete.
the other one, too, both of them.
Yeah, two of them. We agree? Thank you. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Yo un peso por los dos? All right.
Which is umbrella?
No, mediano.
$8
Hey, what's the umbrella at? How much is the umbrella?
Umbrella $3.
Give us a break, too.
Two.
Umbrella?
You know, Dan. Two.
No, $2.
Come on now.
Here you go. Give us back
$2.75. Honest.
$2.50, man.
Yeah, big
Oh, you go big.
You sport, $2.50.
$2.50.
I give you the cigar. I give you the cigar.
I don't smoke. I'm too little.
Oh, well,
I'm
crazy.
too young for you.
Okay,
You won.
$2.50. Thank you, huh?
Thank you.
Never lose.
I hope it won't take too long. I'm losing business here.
I buy you another one, 2 1/4.
All right, baby. Oh, my God.
Why'd you like to start with the kids?
All right. Linda.
Oh, Linda, look what that says to Linda from the Miracles. It says, God bless you. That's for you to keep.
Oh, boy.
That's beautiful, Johnny. Oh, John, thank you.
Boy. Christmas and all.
How about this, Dan?
Oh, hey, look what I got here.
Oh, my God. I wonder what it is.
I wonder what it is.
Only your brain.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Dan, you gonna hear a joke on this one, boy?
Oh, oh, yeah.
Paraguay.
God, that's nice. That's a nice.
That's it.
Everybody here is a member of the Miracles. You have helped everyone. You can't be a guy who can't say no to children.
It's so easy.
No, Danny, it's not easy. You understand it more than the two of you.
Boy, I got a big family.
Early Monday morning. This will be Dan Murrow's last day on 111th Street.
Chico. Yeah, he goes too.
He goes too. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You know, before we're through, Boston's going to
Just
be
a second. Here's Dan.
Boston's going to be a territory of Puerto Rico.
So long, Rosemary.
All right, baby. Goodbye. Oh, my God.
Huh?
Yeah, sure, Jerry.
I'll collect my clothes.
Okay.
You gotta give me another watch like I got one last time, remember?
Yeah, I want to see Harlem's mother first.
Okay, which part of the kitchen?
I know, honey. All right, I'll be right back. Come here, darling. Be right back. I want to see Harlem's mother. Just living on 111th Street for the 5 years that we did, and getting this avalanche of love from all of our wonderful neighbors. You know, you want to return it, but you feel so feeble that you just have to settle for giving as much as you can. You know, somehow, when you found a community that you would, in the beginning, suspect wouldn't take you in and allow you to be yourself with them, and then when you find to your wonderful surprise that you're not only taken in, but you're giving such spiritual sustenance, such spiritual nourishment that you feel that the nourishment on 111th Street is enough to keep anybody going.
I was talking to her about the project.
I'm not going away. I'm really okay. I just... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mike, you take care of yourself. Yeah. Mike, use your hands to make things. Yeah. Not to hurt yourself. You too, honey. And I'll see you soon, baby. Hey! I'll see you later.
For the last 5 years, Dan Murrow has lived and worked on 111th Street. His salary was small. Much of it he gave away. His hours were long. His personal life not very private. The frustrations frequent. Was it worth the effort? If you ask Dan Murrow, he will tell you that he is taking away far more than he gave. He takes with him the love of a community. There is no end to this story. The work begun here 5 years ago by the American Friends Service Committee will continue under the supervision of Roy and Jean Hanscom.